Barcelona could have signed Marcus Rashford this summer for £26 million. £26 million. For a player who just scored 14 goals and 14 assists in a single season. Helped them win La Liga. Won the fans over so much they were chanting his name in warm-ups. Instead, Barcelona let that £26 million option expire and spent £69 million on Anthony Gordon. $69 million on Anthony Gordon, when they could have kept Rashford for 26. And now Marcus Rashford, a player who joined Manchester United as a 7-year-old, who scored on his debut at 18, who was supposed to be the next great United striker, is back at Carrington with no squad number, no clear future, and absolutely nobody quite sure what happens next. This is one of the strangest stories in Premier League football right now. And I want to break down exactly how we got here and where it goes from this point. Let's go back to the beginning of last season. Because context matters here. Ruben Amorim had frozen out Rashford. Completely. He hadn't played a competitive minute for United since a Europa League game against Victoria PLZ in December 2024. Amorim made it very clear he didn't see Rashford in his plans. The relationship was completely broken. So United did what United do. They loaned him out. First to Aston Villa in February 2025. Rashford spent half a season at Villa under Unai Emery. Decent enough, 4 goals and 5 assists in 17 appearances, but Villa decided he wasn't worth the £40 million permanent option in his deal and sent him back. 2 loan clubs in 1 year. Neither wanted him permanently. And then came Barcelona. Now here is where it gets genuinely interesting. Barcelona signed Rashford on loan in July 2025. And what happened next was probably the best sustained period of form of his entire career since that magical 2022-23 season where he scored 30 goals, 14 goals, 14 assists, 49 appearances, La Liga winners, Spanish Super Cup winner. The Barcelona fans absolutely loved him. He posted a goodbye message to them when he left, and they responded with genuine sadness that he was going. A player who United couldn't find a place for. A player Villa didn't want to sign permanently. A player England dropped at the World Cup for Anthony Gordon. That same player went to one of the biggest clubs in the world and absolutely thrived. So of course Barcelona signed him permanently. Oh wait. They didn't.
I said, hold on. I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
They let the £26 million option expire. Then signed Anthony Gordon from Newcastle for £69 million. I'm going to say that again because it genuinely doesn't make sense the first time you read it. Barcelona could have kept Rashford for £26 million. And instead paid £69 million, nearly 3 times more, for a player Rashford had just outperformed statistically.
Stupid.
Now look. I understand the Barcelona decision from a tactical perspective. Gordon is 24. Rashford is 28. Barcelona are building for the long term. Gordon fits the profile of what they want. But £69 million versus £26 million for a player who produced more than Gordon did last season is a decision that still raises eyebrows. And the effect on Rashford personally must have been brutal. Imagine being in that position. You leave Manchester United in disgrace. You rebuild your career at one of the greatest clubs in the world. You score 14 goals and 14 assists. The fans love you. You think you've finally found a home. And then the club spends nearly 3 times your option price on someone else instead. That is a gut punch. And it tells you something about how football works, that even 14 goals and 14 assists in a Barcelona shirt wasn't enough to secure Rashford's future. So now he's back at Manchester United. And here's where it gets complicated again. United won't sell him to another Premier League club. That has been made very clear internally. Tottenham wanted him, were apparently prepared to pay decent money, and United shut that down immediately. The reason? They are absolutely terrified of the headlines if Rashford goes to a Premier League rival and rediscovers his form. Imagine Rashford going to Spurs and scoring 20 goals next season. The humiliation would be enormous. A player United couldn't get rid of, a player their own manager froze out, a player they loaned to two different clubs, now terrorizing them in the Premier League. That cannot happen. So United are stuck with him. And in a way, so is he. But here is the thing that people are overlooking in this whole story. Michael Carrick, the man who took over in January and transformed this club completely. When asked about Rashford returning for preseason, Carrick said, and I'm paraphrasing, "I played with him. I was there when he made his debut. We have a history. I know what he can do." That is not the language of a manager who is going to freeze someone out. That is a manager who genuinely believes in a player and wants to give him a real chance. And when you think about it from Carrick's perspective, this actually makes sense. Rashford at his best, the 2022-23 version, the Barcelona version, is exactly the kind of forward United need.
Do not even. No. The weather.
Yeah?
The weather.
Yeah?
You're right, Neymar. Yeah, it's on your neck.
No.
Direct, fast, capable of scoring and creating, dangerous in one-on-one situations. Carrick has built this team to be dynamic and attack-minded. A motivated, confident Rashford fits that identity perfectly. The question is whether the motivation and confidence are actually there. Let's talk about the shirt number situation, because it actually tells you a lot about where things stand. Rashford's number 10 shirt, the shirt he had worn for years, the shirt he made his own, has been handed to Matheus Cunha. The Brazilian signed from Wolves for £62.5 million and immediately got the number 10. That is how United see the hierarchy now. Rashford is getting the number 14. Eriksen's old number. The number he wore at Barcelona. It's not a bad number, but it is a clear signal that things have changed. And the preseason picture is interesting. United played PSG last weekend in a friendly, drew 1-1. Mbeumo was there. Cunha was there. Sesko was there. United have completely rebuilt their attack this summer. Rashford is being given a chance. But he is no longer the center of everything. He is one option among several. And in a way that might actually be the best thing for him, less pressure, less expectation, more chance to just play football. So what actually happens next? Here is my honest assessment. One of two things happens this season. Either Rashford absolutely runs with this opportunity under Carrick. The motivation of proving everyone wrong, United, Amorim, Barcelona, England, drives him to the best sustained form of his career. He becomes a key player in Carrick's system, and we look back on this summer as the moment the turnaround really started. Or, and this is the realistic alternative, the combination of another loan, another rejection, coming back to a club where his old number has been taken, competing with Sesko, Cunha and Mbeumo for a starting spot proves too much. He goes through the motions. The performances are inconsistent. And by January, the loan conversations start again. One of those two outcomes is coming. There is no middle ground with Rashford. He either thrives or he disappears, my gut. I actually think Carrick gets the best out of him. Carrick has already shown he can take players who looked broken under the previous manager and completely transform them. Sesko was struggling. Carrick made him a £70 million target. The same could happen with Rashford. But the window is running out. The Premier League season starts August 22. United play Hull away on opening day. Marcus Rashford has maybe 3 or 4 months to prove that his Barcelona form was real and not just a one-season wonder. To prove that at 28, he still has something to offer at the highest level. To prove that the boy who made his debut under Louis van Gaal all those years ago still has one more chapter left in him. I genuinely hope he does. Because the alternative, a slow, sad decline at a club that doesn't want him, in front of fans who have given up on him, would be one of the sadder endings in recent Manchester United history. The comeback starts now. Or it doesn't start at all. What do you think? Does Rashford have a future at Manchester United under Carrick, or is his time at Old Trafford genuinely over? Drop your opinion in the comments. I read every single one. Subscribe to Football Dissected. We break down the beautiful game like nobody else.